What's up gamers, DreamcastGuy here, and today I want to try and answer the question, how did Destiny 2 die so fast? Now from the outside that may shock you. If you didn't really get too into it, it may seem like it's still thriving. But what's actually happened is, over the course of the last few weeks, ever since its launch, people have been quitting by the tens of thousands per day. It's gotten to the point where just doing some simple missions with people is rather difficult, or actually getting some good PvP going is almost impossible. The reason why comes down to the fact that it's just not as fun and it's not nearly as community-based. Rewinding a bit, let's take a look at Destiny 1. The reason this was so successful, according to the people who are the most into it, is that it was hard as hell. Getting a good gun in the original Destiny could sometimes take 50 or 100 hours. That seems ridiculous to somebody like you or I, but to the people inside this game, it made sense. Getting an epic rocket launcher should be a quest. It should be you and your friends going on a mission over and over again until you get this thing that becomes a figurehead. Something that represents all the time you've spent in this universe. I can understand that to a point. It's great to be rewarded, especially when the reward is so great for so much time spent. However, that seems so ridiculous. Strangely though, that's what the community liked. People seemed to enjoy the fact that Destiny 1 was almost brokenly difficult. It had such a grind to it. Leveling up was easy, but then maximizing every slot of your gear could take an entire summer, and by the time that happened, another piece of DLC was out. Destiny 2 seems to be trying to do stuff backwards. There's no longer a grind at all. Getting good gear is incredibly simple. What you do now, instead of just killing bosses or doing daily quests, you get these tokens. It makes it where, by doing special objectives, you'll get these little things that you can turn in to buy some of the best gear. It makes the game a little bit more fair, and it makes it where getting the best stuff is, well, it's quicker. That's accidentally created a giant flaw though. People got bored. People got the best stuff, the best weapons, and went and beat the hardest stuff, and now they've moved on. There's no longer a motivation to play. Something that could have fixed this is if they just had some clear feedback. For some reason, Bungie doesn't want to talk to people. They're really kind of afraid of talking to the community directly, about telling them what's coming up or what's really going to be good. People at this point are just kind of going, look, some of us are still playing the game, tell us what's coming down the pipe. Let us know if there's big changes, new raids, anything to keep us interested. But they're almost silent. The developers just seem terrified of actually coming out and saying, hey, this is what we have planned. Which makes it where every time they do change something, it leaves people totally lost. Recently, they tried to rework the experience point system. So when you reach maximum level in this game, which is level 20, you still have an experience bar. And as it fills up, every time it goes to maximum, you get a random item. Now, this item is usually something to color your armor or a token to buy better gear. Okay, that makes sense, right? Well, here's the issue. When they modified it, all of a sudden, it looks like people are getting dramatically less experience. Stuff that will say that it will give you like 100,000 XP if you beat this mission, well, people started calculating it, and it was very clearly actually giving you 60 or even 40,000 experience. That means that the game was being reworked to try and make it harder to get new items, to try and make it where just doing your normal stuff was a lot slower. You'd think that this might create that motivation again, but instead, it just made people feel like they were being lied to. You know, why would you make me do this giant epic mission and say that it's giving me 100,000 XP and then only give me 20? Why would you bother to lie to me? But now they're coming forward and questioning Bungie themselves, and they're just going, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. Well, this is a good time to talk about it. Your community is freaking out. The few people who are still around are at this point panicking. If you like this world, you want it to improve, and not only that, you want it to keep changing. You want stuff to evolve and grow. You want new bosses to kill, but we have no idea what's coming. The reason I was able to figure all this out is because the new DLC is about to come out. This is going to be Curse of Osiris. I was interested, at least a little bit, and I figured I'd review it. Before big DLC comes out, if I plan on covering it, I'll start playing the game again and just put in like 40 hours in a week. That way I can really talk to the people and just do some random strikes. Missions that teach me what's going on. That way I can talk to other players and figure out what a general person on the ground thinks. Well, as soon as I logged into Destiny 2, I was struck by how empty the entire universe was. Nobody is playing, and the few people don't want to talk. It's at this point where there's almost this hushed silence. People are afraid to even bring up the issues because they know that they're not going to be addressed. Talking about a broken loot system doesn't mean you're going to get answers. Explaining that the XP system is completely broken isn't going to get stuff fixed. Now, what's really kind of driving people the most mad and pushing people to quit the most is that at its heart, Destiny 2 is really just kind of a watered-down version of Destiny 1. There's the same monsters, there's less raids, and there's just such pathetic excuses for daily quests. It's like they took all the lessons of the first game, dressed them up, put in a better story, and then took out all the heart and soul. Destiny 2 is just crumbling around them, and Bungie doesn't even know how to fix it. As someone who's currently playing Destiny 2 and really liked it at launch, I think it comes down to this. It's a sequel that actually has so many good ideas at the center of it. They wanted to try and revolutionize the formula that made the game great, and in the process, they've accidentally screwed up some of the core aspects of it. Okay, so that's not a big issue. Fix it, or at least tell us when it will be fixed. Online games change all the time, and that's totally fine. Look at Rainbow Six Siege. When this came out, it was pretty damn fucked. Excuse my French there, but it was so messed up, the balancing was bad, and the servers were constantly flickering, causing you to get kicked out of matches even if you were about to freaking score the winning point. Which was so freaking frustrating. But instead of actually just sitting there silently up in their tower, the developers came out and authentically told people, this is what's going wrong, this is how we're fixing it, and this is when it will be fixed. We want to make this game fun to play, so honestly, you'll buy more DLC. Being transparent goes a very long way. What it really comes down to at the end of the day is, it's just a matter of truth. Gamers are such a unique group of people because we're so absolutely obsessed with finding truth, about beating missions, solving problems, and figuring out the root of everything we're trying to do. A lot of times, people would rather hear the truthful bad answer than a fake good answer. If you're going to be telling me that we'll never have a Final Fantasy 16 because Final Fantasy 15 DLC is making so much money, I'm going to be crushed and disappointed, but I would rather know the truth. Do yourself the big favor, Bungie. Come out and tell people how you screwed up, when it's going to be repaired, and if it can be repaired. If nothing else, I think it's going to help your community and hopefully bring back some of the millions of people who have already quit. If you want to see Destiny 2 stick around long enough to make a Destiny 3, that is your only option. But that's just my random opinion as a guy who actually thinks the game's alright. The raid kind of sucks, the quests can be screwed up, but at the end of the day, it's still so fun to shoot stuff in Destiny 2. But what are your thoughts on this? Are you still playing the game, or did you pass on it entirely? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, share with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. But do me the biggest favor of all and keep dreaming. I'm honestly still trying to do a Curse of Osiris video, so when the Destiny 2 DLC comes out, I want to cover it, but we'll see if it's possible. If the servers are absolutely hollow, I can't even talk about it, so stay tuned next week, we'll see what I can do. Oh, hey! I was just playing a little bit of Grand Theft Auto on my Darth Vader PSP. Are you curious what I'm going to come out with next? Well, if you click this button, you'll be subscribed to be the first to know. Also, if you click over here and here, you can see my latest review and my latest top 10. I promise, it was super good. or it was really bad and I'm sure you can just make fun of me in the comments. Either way, it'll be a lot of fun. Thanks so much for watching.